Meeting is called to order. Oh, I don't have the wrong, I don't have the script in front of me. This work session, regular meeting of the Township Council is called to order. In accordance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, be advised that adequate notice of this work session, regular meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Franklin, County of Somerset, was made by the posting on the bulletin board at the municipal complex and transmitted to the officially designated newspapers a list of dates annually indicating that this work session, regular meeting would take place at the Franklin Municipal Complex at 6:45 on Tuesday, May 9th, 2017. In addition, a copy of this notice has been available to the public and is on file at the office of the municipal clerk. If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, republic for which one nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Be seated. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Chase.
Here.
Councilwoman Francois.
Here.
Mayor Kramer.
Here.
Councilman Onijaka.
Here.
Councilman Prasad.
Here.
Councilwoman Robinson.
Here.
Councilwoman Sherman.
Here.
Councilman Vasanella. Deputy Mayor Wright.
Yes.
So what's going to happen now is I have asked for a special executive session. That's why this meeting has been called 15 minutes early. We're going to go into executive session to discuss police matters. We will return promptly at 7 o'clock. That clock up there is wrong. It's a little bit slow. We will return promptly at 7 o'clock and conduct the rest of the meeting. The Chief of Police will be making a statement just after public comments. Do I have a motion to enter executive session?
Second.
Moved and seconded. I forgot to read the resolution. Resolution 17-181, authorize executive session, personnel, police matter is presented to the Township Council for adoption. We have a motion and a second. Seeing no discussion, Madam Clerk?
Councilman Chase.
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois.
Voting on executive session.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Mayor Kramer.
Yes.
Councilman Onijaka.
Yes.
Councilman Prasad.
Here.
Councilwoman Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sherman.
Yes.
Councilman Vasanella.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Wright.
Okay, so we are now going to go into executive session. Taping will stop momentarily, and then we'll resume when we re-enter. Do I have a motion to come out of executive session?
So moved. Seconded.
Moved and seconded, seeing no discussion. All in favor of coming out of executive session, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. We are now returned out of executive session. The following items were discussed by the Township Council in executive session: personnel, police matters. Again, after public comment, the police chief will make a statement. If we could all rise for the invocation by Councilwoman Kimberly Francois.
As we gather here today as members of the Township Council, we pray that we are ever mindful of opportunities to render our service to fellow citizens and to our community. May those assembled here today enjoy the many offerings of our township. May we abide by the rules we have established, those of trust, fellowship, and ethics. And may we place service above self in our daily endeavors. And may we always test ourselves in our efforts to be sure that they are the truth, good for all concerned, of benefit to mankind, and provide peace and understanding. Amen.
Okay, we have four commendation proclamations. The first is a swearing-in of our new police officer. Chief, if you would come forward and bring your personnel.
He squirmed. Make a case for more.
Melvin,
Do solemnly swear.
do solemnly
United States.
of the United
Faith and allegiance. Governments established.
to the government
There's been through
United
some
States.
committee.
of the United
I will faithfully.
Officer of the Township of Franklin.
Officer Belvin comes to us from the Middlesex County Sheriff's Department. Before the Middlesex County Sheriff's Department, he went to Raritan Valley. He joined the Sheriff's Department in 2015, but I always like to say when we have the opportunity to hire somebody from Franklin Township, it's always good to hire somebody from Franklin. And Melvin went to Franklin High School, graduated, went through Franklin schools, so he's a product of the township. And we were given the opportunity to hire Malcolm, and we're happy to have him on board. And Middlesex's loss and our gain, and as you can see, it's good. Malcolm, I got to admit, your mother looks like your sister. But as you can see, he's following in his mother's footsteps in law enforcement. She works in Parsippany Troy Hills. So we have high hopes for Malcolm. I think he's going to do well, and he's in his field training now. Thank you.
We always have to feel good when we get one of our own from Franklin. They're going to understand the problems here in Franklin, the issues here in Franklin, and help things move along. We now have proclamation about the 40th anniversary of the Adult Day Center of Somerset County. And Councilwoman Chanel Robinson will read that, and if you can come on up, that would be great.
Bill?
Mel?
Mayor?
Mel?
Afternoon. Well, thank you. Franklin Township, Somerset County Mayor and Township Council proclamation. Whereas the Adult Daycare Center of Somerset County is a nonprofit agency committed to providing high-quality, affordable daycare services for disabled and elderly residents of Somerset County. Whereas the mission of the Adult Daycare Center of New Jersey is to provide extraordinary daycare services for the disabled and elderly residents of Somerset County and support for caregiving families. And whereas the Adult Daycare Center was started in 1976 in a Bound Brook Church basement as a response to this problem. And whereas thousands of individuals have been able to remain at home with their families and attend the adult daycare instead of being institutionalized, and whereas the services provided by the Adult Daycare Center of Somerset County include, yet are not limited to, therapeutic activities, daily exercise programs, nursing and personal care, physical therapy, occupational therapy, consultant pharmacy, entertainment, and outings. And whereas these services are designed to fully engage disabled and elderly residents of Somerset County in the human experience to the furthest extent possible. Now, therefore, I, Philip Kramer, Mayor of the Township of Franklin, Somerset County, do hereby recognize the 40th anniversary of the Adult Daycare Center of Somerset County, the value of the Adult Daycare Center of Somerset County provides to those they serve, and via this proclamation, recognize the need to raise awareness of this valuable organization to the residents of Franklin Township. Signed May 9th, 2017, Philip Kramer, Mayor.
Thank you. I
happy to report, I checked with the boss tonight, who couldn't be here, our executive director, and she tells me that your town has the most people. We have 30 of your citizens who are registered at the Adult Day Center. We have 140 there, and it's like overbooking the airline. Given the frail nature of these older folks, you never know if we're going to get, so we average 70 to 80 a day, but you have the highest number of people on the list, and they're not all private pay. A number of them are there on county money being supported in their need for help. Helping caregivers struggle with taking care of a loved one, trying to hold a job, caring for kids. They've got mom in the back corner. My own mother-in-law lived with us for 7 years, and her last 4 were at the Adult Day Center because my wife just couldn't figure it out all of a sudden. She just couldn't do it. So anyway, I just want to thank you for the honor. I want to invite all of you to come for a visit. We're in Bridgewater next to the Patriots Park. I have brochures which describe our services, and I'd be happy to distribute them to all of you. I'm sure you know somebody who's a caregiver who might need our help. And so we welcome you to come by and have a visit, and we thank you for this honor.
You're clearly a valuable resource to the community. We all need care when we're first born, and we need care as we get older. So life would be a lot harder without you for the community. Thank you for your service. Is anyone here to receive the preeclampsia commendation proclamation? Oh, come on up. Councilwoman Kimberly Francois.
Bear with me because I'm suffering with allergies and I can barely hear myself talk. So if I sound strange, that's what, everybody that has allergies, you have my condolences. Okay, let me read this proclamation. Whereas preeclampsia, including HELP syndrome and eclampsia, is a dangerous condition of pregnancy that can, in its severest form, lead to maternal and or infant mortality or premature birth, with significant health risks for the mother and the baby. Whereas many as 320,000 cases of preeclampsia are diagnosed in America every year, with approximately 25 resulting in severe, life-threatening consequences to a pregnant woman and her baby. And whereas public education as to the signs and symptoms of preeclampsia, HELP syndrome, and eclampsia can help women recognize the condition and seek appropriate medical care. And whereas prenatal education should include recognition of those signs and symptoms, such as spikes in maternal blood pressure, sudden swelling of the face and hands, severe upper abdominal pain, blurred vision, persistent headaches, breathlessness, and many other symptoms. Whereas citizens of Franklin Township have joined with the Preeclampsia Foundation to raise public awareness in order to minimize maternal and infant illness and death due to preeclampsia. Now, therefore, our mayor, Philip Kramer, the mayor of Franklin Township, County of Somerset, State of New Jersey, on behalf of the Township Council, do hereby proclaim May 2017 as Preeclampsia Awareness Month in the Township of Franklin. And by this action, let it be known that we support the Preeclampsia Foundation's efforts to reduce maternal and infant illness and mortality due to preeclampsia and related hypertensive disorders of pregnancy. Thank you very much for being here. We all learned a lot today about the condition, and please come up and say a few words.
I just wanted to say thank you to Mayor Kramer and the residents of Somerset. As a survivor of HELP syndrome and preeclampsia, I lost my first child a couple of days after birth due to HELP syndrome. Since then, I have joined forces with the Preeclampsia Foundation to raise awareness, make strides, and deliver hope in having every mom and baby to be healthy as they can be. Right now, I'm currently pregnant with my second child, really third child. Morning sickness is killing me right now, so I'm trying to hurry up and get home so I can have some ginger. But I wanted to thank everyone I also want to thank you, Mayor Kramer, for proclaiming May as the month of Preeclampsia Awareness Month. And the Promise Foundation, we hold an annual walk every year. In Cranford, it's going to be Sunday, May 21st at Oak Ridge Park in Clark. If you can join us, that'll be awesome. Thank you so much.
So I'll put on my doctor hat for a second. We have at the hospital I work, we do have a maternity ward, and occasionally when I'm on call, I think to myself, I hope I don't get called up there for this. It is a serious illness. It is all hands on deck when it happens, and you're doing great work to help with it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We had one more proclamation, but I don't see it happening right now. I'm going to wait one more minute here. Okay, looks like we'll hold that last proclamation to the next meeting. We are now up to public discussion. Do we have a motion to open the meeting for public discussion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, seeing no discussion on public discussion. All in favor of opening for public discussion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion is carried. Meeting is now open for public discussion. Each speaker is allowed 5 minutes. No yielding of time. You may only come up once. And please state your name and address when you come to the mic. I, by the way, am Phil Kramer, 429 Canal Road. Come on up. Anyone wishing to speak?
Mayor, seeing no one from the public.
Oh, okay. Oh, they weren't coming up. That was appropriate, Councilman. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Brad Fay. I live on Canal Road in the Griggstown section,
Number
1135.
1135.
And I know that I'm listed a little later as number 10 on the agenda, but with the encouragement of Councilman Chase, I step forward. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Really, when you shouldn't.
So the reason I'm here is I'm representing the Millstone Valley Preservation Coalition. Many of you, I'm sure, are aware of it. We're a group that's dedicated to preserving the Millstone Valley, and in particular, we're the sponsors of the Millstone Valley National Scenic Byway, which is the 27-mile byway that goes through Franklin, Hillsborough, and Montgomery, encompassing the Millstone River, the DNR Canal. It's a beautiful place. And it's well enjoyed by Franklin residents and by many others in the region for its natural beauty, its historic significance. And at the same time, we have a real challenge, which is public safety, the safety of use for recreation of Canal Road in particular. I am lucky to live in one of the historic houses with a beautiful front porch that looks out on Canal Road. And every weekend I sit with my wife on the porch and watch the conflicts that happen between automobiles driving too fast, even if they're at the speed limit, and bicyclists in particular, as well as some joggers and pedestrians. And you know, you have your heart in your hand sometimes when you see these conflicts arise. Many, I think, people have concluded it's not safe to bicycle. Some have concluded it's not safe to drive on Canal Road because of its narrowness and its proximity to the canal. And yet it is a shame for people to miss out on the beauty of this location. And of course, we're very interested in encouraging the use of the scenic byway. So we've developed a proposal that we've talked to local residents in the Griggstown area about, which would be to set aside some Sunday afternoons in the summer when the Canal Road from the Griggstown Causeway to Route 518, which thankfully has a bridge again, would be closed to through traffic, local traffic at a reduced speed, to encourage the use of this beautiful byway by residents of Franklin and the surrounding area for bicycling, for horseback riding, for jogging, for walking. We think that this would promote healthy recreation, public safety. It would encourage appreciation for the historic resources in Franklin Township. It would promote the appreciation of the environmental assets that we have there. And it would also promote a civic engagement simply by getting people out there together during a condensed period of hours in the afternoon to enjoy it. I have a petition with nearly 50 signatories of people who live in the immediate area who support this idea. There's a lot of enthusiasm for it, in fact. It's sort of a take our street back in a way for the afternoons that we'd be talking about for people to use it. I also have a letter of support from a leading central New Jersey bicycling group called the Princeton Freewheelers, and a representative of that group, Jerry Foster, is with me, and happy to say a few words too about the value of this as a bicycling resource. So what we'd like to propose, and we don't have we're not proposing a specific number of days quite yet, or exactly what the hours should be, or when it should be. We'd like to talk with the right township departments, if you were so inclined to support this, to figure out what would be the most workable and sensible. But this is the idea that we have. I know, Mayor, that you've supported a similar project before on the more northern part of Canal Road. This is a particularly busy section, and it has the proximity of the hills of Coppermine and Old Georgetown Road, which bicyclists really like to use. I don't know why they want to go up big hills, but apparently they do. So it's a particularly good spot and a connector between the Sauerland Mountains for bicyclists and the population centers to the east. So that's the idea. Would it be all right if I had my friend from the Freewheelers speak for a minute?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. My name is Jerry Foster. I'm a resident of West Windsor, 15 Suffolk Lane, if that matters to you. I'm on the board of the Princeton Freewheelers, which is a recreational bicycling club. We exist as an organization to provide recreational bicycling opportunities. So we have group rides. We tend to ride somewhere in the order of, I'd say, 25 to 50 rides per week, depending on whether it's in the summertime or in the wintertime. We have everything from daytime, weekday rides, through weekend rides all over central New Jersey and including Bucks County in some cases as well. So just want to say that we do support the idea of opening the road exclusively to bicyclists and pedestrians. We have also organized other events, such as the event in Princeton, where they closed Quaker Road between the Canal Path and the Friends School, the Princeton Battlefield. And we're organizing on May 21st a historical bike ride where we're having history talks in Lawrenceville, Pennington, Washington Crossing State Park, Trenton, and Princeton, from the local historical societies, all built around this idea of the street opening up for that one Sunday afternoon on May 21st. So we would love to see something like that happen here in Franklin Township as well. We know you've got the right place for it. The canal is gorgeous. The Griggstown is historic, and we're very much in favor of it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You can't come back up.
Benjamin Guy, 35 Patton Drive. Excuse me. Just want to give some updates to I guess, the council from the freeholders meeting. One of the things I would just want to give a highlight to was that one is the girls basketball team is supposed to get a citation from the freeholders probably next week. So if anybody wants to attend or support that, they're supposed to be getting that citation. Another thing is that they're actually signed on from the freeholder side. They signed on for the to be intervener for the pipeline. Also, I guess as of last week altogether. So I just want to give that report to people. But the other thing is that I want to try to find out two things. One is because there was a report up there that the RideWise is going to be updating their service. I was trying to see if anybody knew exactly anything about that during the time frame over the next month or so, and I just want to get a report out there so that the public knows exactly what they're supposed to be doing as far as announcing to update their service over the next month or so. That was one thing, and then the second thing is that I just wanted to ask a question because with the police department being more engaged in the community as a whole, does the town see a need for like any other services that the police department might be able to be supported? Maybe Police Athletic League or a Relations Bureau or anything else that actually out there, and would the council actually be in support of anything that might the Police Athletic League the police department would actually need from a community standpoint? The reason why I asked that is because I have some community leaders that are interested in supporting those initiatives and would take the burden from the police department to actually organize that, but I wanted to make sure that we had the rights and support from the council to actually do that. So that was my comments for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Mr. Tibbs.
I am moved. I was looking. Did nobody get up at first? I was surprised. I was shocked. A couple things, gentlemen.
Name and address.
Johnny Tibbs, 25 Parkside, Somerset, New Jersey. A couple things. I'm ashamed. Last week, I didn't completely read the minutes of the agenda, and there's a couple questions I have, and I hopefully maybe you guys can answer me now. Number one, Bob, hold on. I got the memo about the water testing. Now, I don't want to think I have to go around and try to find some individual volunteer to turn in that's using the water from the township to see if their water is tested. I had asked and requested that the complexes in which is all black, mostly, be tested for water, such as Parkside, such as Buster Soyce's building, such as Pine Grove Complex. Those complexes, I had asked that their water be tested in those. Now, I don't know what I have to do to have that done, but
Johnny, you can talk to me at not here. I explained to you how water is tested. That program, instituted by the Environmental Protection Agency of the United States, is a voluntary program. It's another manner in which people can have their water tested for lead or copper.
But I cannot ask you or the council to get the water tested. Is that what you're saying in essence?
I'm telling you that people can have their water tested individually, and the water is tested randomly throughout the town regularly. The water that comes through the pipes in the ground go to buildings no matter who occupies them. And we continue to test water. The water quality report is part of the website if you want to read it, and if you want to discuss it at length, I'll be more than happy to talk to you
But
about
the water out on Amwell Road somewhere might not be the same water that's
It's
in
the
Parkside.
same water, Johnny. It's only coming from two different companies, New Brunswick Water on the east and New Jersey American on the west, and all the pipes are connected and it mixes together.
Okay.
It doesn't discriminate in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see, sir. I'll make sure I go. Whatever has to be done, I'll go that route that you want to go on. Secondly, the Youth Center feasibility study. I'm sorry I didn't read the whole thing, but feasibility means to me, if it's at all feasible, or if it's all warranted, that's what feasible means to me. I don't know what it means to you guys. But there's no way, I almost cussed this now, that we need a feasibility study at $25,000. All you got to do is read the police reports that they've been giving every week, or the burglaries that have been going up every week and all over town, or the third shooting in 2 weeks. I don't think we need a feasibility study to warrant a community center. We've been asking it for 10 years so that you can save your money about a feasibility because it's already been warranted to have a community center. You can save that $20,000 and put it towards the architecture of building the building sooner. Number two, there's $119,000 for spray park replacement at Naaman Williams Park. What is that?
That's the the spray park by the pool. For all the kids to go run in and out of the spray park.
$119,000?
Yeah, that's how much they cost, Johnny. Yep.
Maybe I should go get a tub of water and throw out in the pool or park or something.
I mean, we're trying to be responsive to the needs of the youth in the
Yes,
neighborhood.
but
That's why we're building
that
it.
kind of cost. I think it's a little bit exorbitant. I know it didn't take that much money to get them in the pool.
We can get a hose and hang it up, Johnny.
Huh? Yeah, well,
That's how much it costs, John.
I
mean, I'm not going to sit here and debate it with
Naaman
you.
Williams Park down there just so you that much money. I'm sure you can get it cheaper than that.
I'm sure we couldn't. It went out for public bid, and it was all the New Jersey procurement laws were obeyed and followed, and that's what the low bid was. That's what it will be.
Okay. All right. Now, this is going to be personal here, guys, and I have the public voice. I'm going to take my time to say it. Now, because of all the things that's going on in the Fourth Ward, and the public knows how responsive it is
Mr.
toward the
Tibbs.
people that's taking care. You
Mr.
gonna stop me
Tibbs,
now?
I'm sorry, that's your time.
Boy, I know you've been waiting for that. I'm not even pissing your pants to stop me from getting it.
Mr.
Because
Tibbs,
you
it's-
would love to stop me, Phil Kramer, but that's okay.
We do.
I was just going to
Mr.
say that people in the
Mr.
public
Tibbs.
wants us to fix the Fourth Ward, and I'm running for the Fourth Ward councilman, and I'm sure we'll fix the Fourth Ward problems. Thank you, sir.
Anyone else wishing to speak?
Mayor, seeing no one come forward, I make a motion that we close public session.
Second.
May it please this council, my name's Orlando Arujo. I live at 6 Deborah Drive in Somerset. I've lived there since 2006. My neighbors asked me to make a trip down here, but I'm here as a neighbor of folks that live on Deborah Drive in Erie Court. And it's my understanding that there was going to be maybe some severe public discussion today about the road closure that was voted upon by this council back on February 14th, and that's ordinance number 4170-17. I would just like to thank the council and commend the council for doing it. I am the proud father of a 12-year-old adopted special needs child that lives on the block, and I think that public safety has increased tremendously on Julie Court and Deborah Drive because of that closure of that annex of Erie Drive to Julie Court. And with that being said, I would want to come here and not pass on the idea that I'd like to thank again the council for passing it. It's a good ordinance, and as a taxpayer and as a resident, I thank the council for passing it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wishing to speak? How many people are here in support of the Julie Drive? Okay, thank you. Ella, you had
I was going to motion.
Yes.
Unless any of them wanted to come up, to close the public portion of the meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Public session is closed. The proclamation, Chief, if you would be so kind as to give us your indulgence, the proclamation, what I'm asking, Chief, is that you not come up yet. The proclamation that we were going to have, the people have arrived for it, so if you can make your statement after that, we're going to have another proclamation. Thank you, sir. So, Councilman Wright, would you usher in your guests?
Nice.
Here we go. Your show, Councilman Wright. Take it away.
No, stand over here. No, chair. No, come on. Stand over here.
You're on TV, so smile pretty for the camera. Live.
Come on.
Live, absolutely.
Come on.
Live from Franklin Township. Wow.
Suddenly they just became girls, huh? They were a basketball team until
Oh, go ahead. You take the picture.
They're taller than the guys.
they are tall.
No, my handwriting.
That's okay.
Now, you can see they're all taking pictures back there. Okay? Oh, wait a minute. I got to get out the way here. Okay.
For breakfast and stuff.
Wait a minute. The podium's in the way. Wait a minute. Whoa. Come on, Mr. Mayor. Come on. Get in here, Mr. Mayor. Come on, Mr. Mayor. Get in here.
Listen, you're going to... Have to make an application.
Okay. All right.
Speed bumps are going to get denied.
Here we go. All right.
Maybe speed bumps and stuff.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, after that fine photo session, Rutgers Prep. You've all passed it. Eastern Avenue. Probably didn't realize it, but that's a very good school down there. And you probably wondered what was going on at that school. Great education. Now, the last time I was up here for Franklin, I said that it's not about how you play the game. And I'll say the same thing that I said to them. It's about teamwork. It's about everyone individually, but collectively playing the game. And that's how you win. That's how you win championships. I mean, when I played football, it was When I was on the swimming team, it was just me. And I was But these young ladies back here, they played basketball. Individually, they were great, but collectively, I'll turn around there, y'all were good. Y'all were good, okay? I think they compiled a 30-1 record, which means that they were spanking somebody. Took them behind the woodshed and said, So, what I'd like to do, Mary Klinger is the AD and head coach. Oh, wait a minute. Let me read the commendation. Then have the athletic director come over, read all these names here, and then I'll pick it up after. Okay? Where'd the mayor go? Oh, there's the mayor way down there. I was looking for him. Commendation. Whereas the Rutgers Preparatory School, give my basketball. Whereas the Rutgers Preparatory School girls varsity basketball team, under coaches Mary Klinger, Brian Mueller, and Tim. Oh, he's not here. Okay. That's his middle name, not here? Tim Martelli. Okay.
is to be recognized and honored for their outstanding 30 and 2. I say 30 and 1? 30 and 2. Yeah, I know we're working on that one. 2016-2017 season. And whereas, by remarkable efforts, this team captured the 2017 NJSIAA Non-Public B State Championship Trophy with a victory over Queen of Peace 58-46. And whereas the 2016-2017 Argonauts, consisting of Coach?
Good evening. Mary Klinger, Brian Muller, and as we said, Tim Ortelli's not here. Consisted of Olivia Mullins, Olivia Dabney, Brooke Peichel, Kiara Tibbett, Deshawnee Knight, Alex Scariati, Divya Srinivasan, Leilani Carrera, Gabby Redden, Jasmine Lyles, Lauren Repillette, Andrea Gamboa, Madison Stanley, Talia Grananetti, and we have a couple managers, but they're not here this evening. And we have two other players that aren't here, Macy Mento and Nyla Robinson.
When I finish this, you're up. Now, therefore, we, Carl Wright, Councilman, and Philip Kramer, Mayor, honor the 2016-2017 Rutgers Preparatory School varsity girls basketball team and their coaching staff for their outstanding achievements and commend them for their display of sportsmanship, as I said, and leadership. Thank you. Given this day, May the 9th, 2017. Come on, we can do better than that. Give them a good hand here. Okay, now, what we're going to do is first, we can give these out. How you want to do it? Give them all out now? We're going to give them all out now. Wow, the coach is giving a beautiful talk. Come on.
Well, you guys pretty much said everything, but on behalf of Rutgers Prep, we'd like to thank the mayor and also the Franklin Township Council for this honor. We truly are pleased and blessed to be a part of this evening. And on behalf of all the kids, I'd like to say thank you. Just a couple things about the season. We did end up 30-2. We were Somerset County champions for the third year in a row. We were the NJSIAA Non-Public B state champions for the second year in a row, and it's all because of these young ladies. We have 5 seniors that are going off to play in college. Olivia Dabney's going to Sacred Heart. Gabby Redden, yeah, well, you can step forward. Gabby Redden is going to go play. They're all going to play ball at Marist. Brooke Peichel is going to go to Northwestern in Chicago. Who else do I have? Maddie Stanley is going to go to Fairleigh Dickinson in Teaneck. Nyla Robinson is going to go play at Haverford College. And am I missing anyone? So the 5 seniors we're going to say goodbye to who've really been a staple of this program and have really made this program absolutely terrific. Big win this year, beating Queen of Peace. I think Manasquan was probably the signature win. They were number 1 in the state at the time, and we played at the Coach's Choice event that was down at Homedale High School. And what's significant, which unfortunately we lost Shawnee, our point guard, 4 minutes into the game, and the kids really rallied behind her and pulled off a stunning victory against Manasquan. And what other signature wins? St. Rose. We can't forget St. Rose. We beat them. They're our arch rival. We beat them in the sectional semifinal. They didn't even get to the final, so that was a good thing. We played at Rutgers Prep to a sold-out crowd, and I probably shouldn't say we were a little over the fire code, probably. It was a great crowd. It was an awesome night, and the kids really performed well. So, anything else? Our upper school principal, Joe Chodel. We have one of our, yep, he was a basketball player. He gives us his input, and the parents here. We also have one of our board members, Nan Blecker, who's a big supporter of our women's basketball. Nan, so, yeah. And then obviously our parents too, who have been great throughout the year over here also. So, thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
Yep.
Now, I want you to know that I got my basketball, and it's signed by all the team. Now, Franklin owes me a ball, and they're going to give me the ball signed just like this. And you're probably going to say, Carl, where are you going to keep it? Now, see, the mayor ripped off my Oscar. I got an Oscar a long time ago, and he ripped off the Oscar. Yeah, I want my Oscar back. And I want to thank the team for coming up, for giving pride to Franklin Township, and I want to say thank you. But now, this is the best moment of all. All my council members back there dying to get up, take this picture shot. So I'm going to give everybody a chance who wants to come up now and get your picture taken. See how fast they get up? You know what I mean? So I'm going to move this out the way, and we're all going to take shots.
Councilman Wright, this is quite a performance.
Thank you very much. See my little Oscar here? Okay. Just get everybody up.
Stand up. You can be seen from there, yes. Yeah. I stand up, they won't get me in the picture.
Okay, now we don't have a wide angle. We all need to
All like each other. Get close.
get together here. Remember, I'm in the middle, so whatever y'all do. Now the point guard's got to come up front. The center's in the back. And I'm not playing center today, so no. Okay? Okay. In the back, we can't see you. Dr. Chase, we can't see you. He's in the back. Okay, we can't see you in the back. Okay. All right, everybody in the picture? All good?
All good.
Okay, here we go. Charles, you got to get down now. I know. Behind you. Now, one more shot. Get the head principal guy. Come on. But you get in the back. Got everybody on the team, right? Anybody clotted out? We good? There it is. Okay, thank you, ladies. Thank you. Oh, wait a minute. I want my ball back. Oscar?
The manager's office, right?
Ready?
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Watch your legs, ladies.
Good job, ladies.
Run away, or I'll keep it.
I got you. Get my ball.
He got his Oscar back.
So the only thing I'd like to say is to thank the parents. The parents were there the first time these kids picked up a basketball. They've been there through all the games, all the Little League games or the similar type games through the schools, through the high school, and you'll probably go to a lot of the college games. So it's the parents that these kids really owe a lot to, and we thank you for being there for them.
And the mayor, too.
Oscar's getting.
So I'd now like to ask the chief to come up and make a statement. Thank you, Chief, for taking your time to be here, and Captain
problem.
Borland as well.
I just want to know one thing. Mayor, could you dunk that basketball?
Absolutely. Depends on the height of the basket.
Now, I just want to make a statement on a serious note. As people know, we've had 4 shootings in the last 3 weeks, and I just want the public to know there's no need to be alarmed. Actually, due to the investigative efforts of the Detective Bureau, we already have suspects, and we're diligently working on the case. We've put out extra patrols, so there's more of a presence in the area, and we're using other investigative techniques that I'd rather not get into to make sure that we bring this to a fast ending, and we will do that. So I don't want anybody to be alarmed. Again, we have suspects right now, but I would like to ask the public, if anybody did see anything and they're not aware of it, or they think they may have saw anything, they could call us at 873-7277. That's a total anonymous line, non-taped, and they don't even have to give their name, and you could leave us any information, or you could call the Somerset County Crime Stoppers tip line, which is on the web, and it's on the website, and say 1-800 number. And again, you don't have to leave your name. You could just leave any information, or you could feel free to call our investigative division, and you do not have to give your name, and the detectives will not ask you for their name. But if anybody happens to see anything, please, just let us know. We want to thank everybody for their cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. We'll now move on to council committee reports and comments. Councilwoman Sherman, you're on.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Oh, I'm sorry, I've got, here. Today was quite a delightful day. I was invited to the grand opening of a very prestigious pharmaceutical company, Lupin Pharmaceuticals, which are based out of India. Mumbai is their headquarters. We are their manufacturing site, 100,000 square feet of manufacturing site on Campus Drive. They will, by the end of the year, employ 450 people, and they're usually people with technical backgrounds, but they have needs for others beside that. It's a wonderful company to be located here in Franklin. We're very proud of their being here, and we're excited to have them as part of Franklin Township. It's a very prestigious company. They make generic drugs. That's their area of expertise. And I didn't have anything to write, but I think they're 5th in the world as far as manufacturing. Perhaps Councilman Prasad may know them better than I do, but I think they're about a $2 billion company. So it's really a wonderful, wonderful acquisition for Franklin to have such a marvelous company here in our township. Also wanted to talk a little bit about having gone to the climate change march in Washington on the 29th of April. It was really hot. Hasn't been that hot since that day, to tell you the truth. But it was a wonderful spirit, as those things usually are. Not sure whether our president is hearing any of this, but it feels good to get out there and at least make your point. So, and there was a full bus from Franklin. Well, half was from Franklin, and then we picked up another group down in Mount Laurel. So it was a full day, but it was a very, very worthwhile day. Also, I had the opportunity to attend a function at Zufel Health, which is in Somerville. But I learned a lot, and I would like to share a little bit with folks here. This is a marvelous organization. They were primarily focused on women's health at one time, but they are now handling children. They also have men as patients, as well as soon they're going to have a dental program. They charge on a sliding scale. So if you are unable to pay, if you are constrained financially, it's a wonderful alternative for people to look into. So Zufall, Zufall, in Somerville. And the last thing, I did want to just share, having gone to Highland Park, to hear their discussion with regard to their proposal for immigrants or what they call threatened populations. And it's something we're seriously looking into. We still have to go over what they've said, what we want to have contained in ours, but we do continue to look at the right way of approaching this issue for Franklin Township. And that's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Sherman. Councilman Onlijaka. Councilwoman Sherman, sorry.
Okay.
Glad you noticed.
Yeah, I don't think I have much, only to let the public know that the West African Community Foundation in Franklin are organizing an African Day Parade and Festival on the 20th of May. And the location is Hamilton Street in Franklin here in Somerset. And everybody is invited, and it's going to be a great occasion to show African ethnic culture and tradition, and at the same time to show the diversity in Franklin. So everybody is invited. That's what I have for today.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Kimberly Francois.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I hear that West African Day Parade is going to draw a great big crowd on Hamilton Street. So it'll revitalize that area. It'll help be successful for the businesses to showcase their products and services. We're looking for, I've heard probably, I'm on the Hamilton Street Marketing Committee, so I've been working with them trying to plan that event. We're anticipating over 5,000 people in the area, so it should be a pretty nice day. I hope the weather turns out nice, and I'm looking forward to participating. I've never been to the West African Day Parade, but since I'm involved in some of the work to plan it, I plan on being there. So thank you, Councilman Onyeajaka, for that.
Thank you.
I want to just make a comment about the feasibility study for the youth center. I must, since you're here, Mr. Johnny Tibbs. So a feasibility study is an analysis of how successful an investment in a strategic venture will be. It helps the people that are embarking upon that do the correct amount of careful planning and analysis and make sure that the programs and services that we put in place will meet the needs of the neighborhood. I think you know what's needed. I think I know what's needed. There are other people that think they know what's needed. But we want to make sure that the investment that we put in that youth center is going to be successful, and the building and the programs and the design of the building will meet all the needs, future needs of our youth in this area. So that's why we did that. And I think we can't do too much to invest in our youth, and careful planning and analysis is something that I think will, for years to come, we'll look back on that and say we did our due diligence, we involved the people that needed to be involved, we did the careful planning to make that a successful project. And you will certainly be a part of that. We'll have a steering committee of key stakeholders, and quite frankly, you'll be a part of that. So. And the consulting group that we brought in will help us spearhead that whole initiative. Okay? That's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Jim Vasanella.
Thank you. Yes, the Hamilton meeting last Monday was canceled, so we have nothing to report from that meeting, although this event is something, as Councilwoman Francois mentioned, that the board was supporting and involved with, and the marketing committee especially, which I know the last meeting I was at, they were very involved with it. So I look forward to seeing that parade. It's going to be fun. Congratulations to Rutgers Prep. I'm proud to have Rutgers Prep in the 5th Ward. It's there on Easton Avenue. I'm sure most people in this town are aware of it. And although it is a private school, a lot of the students are from Franklin and surrounding towns, and we're very proud of their accomplishment with the girls' basketball team. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Vasanella. Councilman Ted Chase.
I've passed out. Last Thursday, I attended a meeting of the Central Jersey Transportation Forum, as I do whenever they have such a meeting. And at that meeting, the representatives of municipalities were given 25 copies of a booklet on transportation and solving transportation problems to be given to the council and planning board of their municipality. So I've handed that out along with the cover letter to members of the council, and we should all study it and keep it in mind whenever we have a transportation problem, such as people going too fast on Julie Court. Maybe we want some traffic calming measures there. Maybe there are other places where we could use traffic calming measures. I think there are some examples of solving problems in Franklin in that book, as I recall from when they were compiling it. So that's a useful thing for us all to study. Now, beginning June 3rd, on Saturdays from 10 to 3, we will have a farmer's market in the lot at the corner of DeMott Lane and Amwell Road with local farmers, with fresh produce generally, and also specialty items, for instance, Kathy Blooming's honey, available for purchase. So I encourage everyone in the town to come and enjoy and purchase at that farmer's market. I know there's been some questioning from the Hamilton Street group why we don't have it downtown. I think that even more people will see it at Amwell and DeMott, and that if necessary, the manager has indicated we could run a shuttle bus out from down Hamilton Street for people who can't make it out here otherwise, but we want to make this available to the widest possible number of township residents and even other people passing through. And I call council's attention, the last item on the consent agenda tonight is a council resolution supporting this farmer's market. And the last market of the year will be at Franklin Day on September 23rd. That day they'll be there. But in the meantime, I hope people will patronize them. And this is really a creation of our Agricultural Advisory Committee brought this up. The closing of Canal Road to through traffic on several Sundays in July, we have that on as an agenda item for full council discussion. I wanted the council all to have a chance to put in their 2 cents. We have to decide, first of all, do we want to do it? Secondly, how many days do we want to do it? 4 Sundays in 1 month, or 1 Sunday in each of 3 months, or how? But I hope we can do it. Since Mr. Fay first approached me about it, and my reaction was, if we can do it for the northern part of Canal Road, we can do it for our part of Canal Road. And I do know, living on Old Georgetown Road, that the circuit, Canal Road, up Copper Mine Road, and down Old Georgetown is very popular with bicyclists, and I'm sure it will be even more popular when they can more safely bicycle Canal Road. And it's Canal Road that connects well with Copper Mine. Bicycling on the towpath is a very different matter, really, and also then you'd have to go all the way to Griggstown Causeway. And certainly people do bicycle there, but they have to deal with pedestrians. So I think that's enough, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Chase. Lovely tie. Councilman Chanel Robinson.
I believe I was born woman, Councilwoman Chanel Robinson.
Did I do that again? Sorry.
Yes, you did.
Councilwoman.
Councilperson.
Yeah, maybe I'll
Thank
just
you.
go with councilperson for everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have no standing committee meeting reports at this time. I do have Housing Authority tomorrow. Public Safety meets next month. And as Councilman Vassanella said, Hamilton Street Business District meeting was canceled for this month. In response to Mr. Guy in regards to a possible PAL, I just have some follow-up questions. He's not here, but if he's out there in the listening community, what specifically sports will you be looking to bring to Franklin or add on to what we don't have? Or are we looking to compete with what we already have? And I believe bringing in a PAL will be in conjunction with the PBA or the police department, not necessarily the township. But those are the questions. Is it something that we're not already providing from a recreational standpoint? And if you can give those specifics, or if you're looking to have the PBA take over some existing athletic programs from a recreational standpoint. I attended the unveiling of the corner dedication of New Brunswick Road and Cedar Grove Road to be dedicated as Interfaith Lane on last Thursday. It was a beautiful afternoon and a beautiful occasion of people of all walks of life and faith coming together for such an occasion. At this time, Mr. Mayor, I have nothing else to report at this time.
Thank you, Councilperson. Councilperson Prasad.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, congratulations to Rutgers Prep, women's basketball. Great job. And so we have quite a few basketball women's champions here. So maybe it's something in our water.
He told me Bound Brook won their league, too.
They get the same water.
I heard that.
Okay. Interfaith Lane, our thanks to Alex Karazi for all his efforts as the Interfaith Council president, and all the houses of worship for making that happen. And it was a great event, and they help promote understanding amongst the faiths, and it is a great effort, and helps with the diversity, us being the most diverse town in New Jersey. We take that away from Jersey City because they're segregated and we are integrated. So we are number 2, tied with North Brunswick, so we take the title. And then there is upcoming, the United Nations is holding a Vesak Day celebration of Buddha's birthday and death anniversary, which happened to have happened on the same day, and it is tomorrow. So I will be there representing Franklin Township at the UN General Assembly session for 60-odd countries that will be celebrating that. And the Buddhist temple here will be celebrating the Vesak Day on the 14th, which happens to be Mother's Day as well. But they'll be there. And on the 20th, they're holding an International Day of Peace at the Buddhist temple as well. So I ask all of you to turn out and learn more about meditation. There are monks there who are there to offer free lessons. And speaking of that, the 14th is Mother's Day, and happy Mother's Day to all mothers. And this week is Nurses Week. And since, with me being the exception, my whole family is nurses, my son, daughter, niece, wife, everybody. So happy Nurses Week. And we do have primary coming up on June 6th, so please do remember to vote. And more importantly, we have a Memorial Day parade coming up on Memorial Day. And for that, I think we will be assembling at about 10 o'clock at the corner of DeMott and New Brunswick. And the parade will probably start around 11. Is that correct?
Yes, 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock. And so please do turn out and cheer on everybody, and we'll all be marching in it, so please be there. And finally, Lupin Pharmaceuticals, I was there when they first started in India 20 years ago, met the founder, so it'll be interesting to reconnect with them here in Franklin. So had a brother-in-law who was a consultant to them, so it'll be interesting. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilperson. Councilperson Chanel Robinson wanted to interject another thing.
Yes, I apologize, Mr. Mayor, for taking up additional time. But I did want to highlight a claims clinic for our veterans. Will be held here at the municipal building. So, Department of Veterans Affairs Claims Clinic for Veteran Service Members and Dependents. And it's titled Enhancing the Veteran Experience here at Franklin Township Municipal Building on Tuesday, May 16th at 9:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. Check-in is at 9:30 a.m., 10 a.m. light breakfast and refreshments. So again, you can RSV to Robert Zuckerman at 732-247-3999 or R. Zuckerman at njleg.org, bringing the VA to the veterans. And this is being hosted by Assemblyman Joseph Danielson of LD 17 and Lily Newble, Director of Newark Regional Office. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilperson Chanel Robinson. And Ms. Robinson is really championing for the veterans. She's also working on an ordinance to give some relief to veterans, at least on their water bill, when they are overseas. Deputy Mayor Wright, you're up.
Well, Mr. Mayor, after that basketball, I'm kind of all tuckered out here. But we have a land use report. Councilman Chase, Councilman Vasanella, and Councilman Prasad are all on the Land Use Committee, of course, with our Township Manager, Mr. Vornlocker, and our Director of Planning and Zoning, Mr. Mark Healy. So I'm just going to give you the highlights of it. We had a request from RPM to use our Township Affordable Housing Trust Fund. After negotiations and going back and forth, they wanted to use our Affordable Housing Trust, and we gave them $500,000 out of our Affordable Housing Trust.
It was the recommendation of the committee to give them $500,000, yes.
So, I'm sorry?
I said it was the recommendation of the Land Use Committee to
offer
them $500,000 from the Affordable Housing Trust. They had asked for, I believe, $989,000.
987.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, 987. That was off the top of my head. That's pretty good. Close.
But it was definitely a significant savings to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund for use in other projects. The Dunn property, and I'm going to ask Councilman Chase to talk about the Dunn project, if you will.
Well, the Dunn property, which is that very nice house you can see from South Middlebush Road, just north of Claremont, which is a historic house which the township owns, but it's also a considerable expense for the township, and because it's a very nice house, I've been in it. The manager says he'd like to move there.
I would.
We think that really the most desirable thing would be if we could sell it to a private party with a historic easement on it, that they have to keep the house as it is. The trouble is that it's on the Green Acres roster, and to do anything of the sort, you have to jump through considerable hoops, ending with the State House Committee in Trenton, a so-called committee that has to pass on any such diversion of Green Acres property. We sent a letter to the relevant person in the Green Acres program pointing out that This was a donation to us from a developer. We had not spent any Green Acres money or even any township open space money in acquiring this. It's just unfortunate that when we acquired it, which was over 30 years ago, but Mr. Dunn had life rights to live there, and he lived there until a couple of years ago. We didn't, at that point, take the trouble to subdivide off the house from the rest of the property so that the house would not be on the Green Acres roster. We got a response back saying essentially, sorry, it's state law, there's no way around going to the State House Commission about this, but they were somewhat, Ms. Yeaney was somewhat sympathetic and said that in another couple of years they're going to review their regulations. Possibly there'll be a change in the regulations then. So we may either go ahead through the State House Commission process, or we may wait and see if we get an improvement on the regulations, or we may talk to our state senator who's on the State House Commission and see if he can find a better path for us. We have, I think, have we just replaced the roof, or are we just about to replace the roof?
We're preparing the specs to go out to bid to replace the roof.
It needs replacing, and
It
that's
does.
the trouble with owning these historic houses. They are a continuing drain on the township budget. So we're looking to see, we have acquired a number of them. I always think of the phrase about the British having acquired an empire in a fit of absent-mindedness. But we have acquired a number of historic houses, many of them just donations of this nature, and now we have to deal with the problems arising. So, the other item in the Land Use Committee report is just that the concept plan for the Catalpa Park has been through a number of township committees, such as the Recreation Advisory Committee, the Open Space Committee, the Environmental Commission, and will now go to the Planning Board. And after the Planning Board has passed on it, or perhaps made some suggestions, we'll then have another public hearing on this. As a matter of tradition, it ought to be on June 30th, as the two previous ones were, but I don't know what day of the week that comes out to be. But we will then have a public hearing before the council, and I have been meeting repeatedly with residents in the area to hear their concerns, and I think we're getting all of their concerns addressed in the plan that we now have, and we're looking forward to eventually having this as a park for active recreation. The most area consumptive thing, of course, will be the cricket fields, but we will also have basketball, tennis courts, bocce ball, what they call cornhole, throwing a beanbag into a hole, a pavilion for people to rent out for picnics. We will have restrooms there, although they'll generally only be available when there is an organized group using the park. Partly because, well, I won't go into the details, but anyway, the project is moving ahead, and I hope that when it's finally realized, everyone will be happy with it.
Thank you, Councilman Shays. Open space consultant. Our township manager, Mr. Vornlocker, informed the committee that the township's open space consultant, Fran Vericelli, will be moving out of state with her family in a few months, and the committee expressed appreciation for Ms. Vericelli's work for the township over the years. Consolata, love that word. Mr. Vornlocker updated the committee indicating that closing was expected in early May, and it's actually Thursday, May 11th at 1 p.m.
It'll be part of my report, Councilman.
It'll be part, okay. And we'll own a nice piece of property. I'm looking to build my house out there and all that good stuff. Is that okay with you, Mr. Vornlocker?
That's my word.
No, anyway. That was it.
No one's building a house there, folks.
Maybe you can buy a lot on.
Absolutely.
Oh,
my
come
seat.
on.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, for putting more money in our township attorney's pocket with that statement. Okay, for my comments, I'd like to address some items from the library board. The library has acquired a new service called Hoopla, 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 and it's an online service that you can get through the library. They have movies, they have books on tape, and some other items, and you can use the service 5 times per month if you sign up through the library. Library recently put on, returned a service that they had before, and that's an online listing or an online catalog of old Franklin newspapers. That's it's digital, obviously if it's online, but you can actually search the papers for particular subjects, and I had some fun looking at it, learning about things I didn't know about, and it's a great way to learn about the town. Also, for some people bemoan the fact that the township library is not part of the county library system. I will let you know that if that were to happen, your taxes would go up because it is more expensive to be part of the county system than we currently pay in our taxes. But if you are a senior citizen and you are really eager and anxious to use the county system for, if you are a senior citizen and a resident of Franklin, for $50 a month, you can get the privileges of the county system. I also wanted to wish people a happy Nurses Week. 50, oh, I said 50 a month. Thank you. It's 50 a year. 50 a year. Thank you, Councilman.
That's the difference.
Yeah, it's quite a difference. Happy Nurses Week. Councilperson Robinson and I met with Freeholder Levine this week, discussing some open space opportunities that the county may want to be involved in. I'll be meeting with him, and I believe Councilman Chase and only Jaka will be there this coming weekend. We're going to talk about some road projects. I also want to talk to him about Easton Canal. There's disputes as to who owns it, who cleans it, who maintains it, various sections, Easton Road, I said Easton Canal.
Avenue.
Easton Avenue, thank you. The bike path along it, who's responsible for it, so we want to get that sorted out. And I also wanted to mention Consolata. I will be at the closing Thursday. That concludes my report and Township Manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. To start my report, I'd just like to again address the issues regarding Mr. Tibbs' inquiries about testing of water. What the program that Mr. Tibbs was referring to is a voluntary program that was just started as a result of a requirement of the United States Environmental Protection Agency and the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection under the Safe Drinking Water Acts that we do voluntary testing of water of our residents from our water system, our customers of our water system. It's on the township's website under the water utility page. There's a quick survey to fill out, and then your water will be tested by an outside firm to determine whether there are abnormally high levels of lead or copper. Mr. Tibbs raises a question about two properties in particular, the senior citizen housing at the Parkside apartments and housing units, and also the senior citizen building at the corner of Franklin Boulevard and Hamilton Street. Mr. Tibbs is not here to hear my answer. I'm sure he'll listen to it later. I would like to bring attention to the fact that those are two new construction buildings, so that if there was lead or copper detected in the water in those buildings, it would be as a result of our water in our water system, not from something inside those buildings. Those buildings were just built. They don't have issues with lead in buildings that were just built. So there's no reason in particular to test those particular buildings other than it would be testing our water, which our water is tested in that area randomly. So that is that part. Moving on to other topics. Mr. Mayor, I'm surprised that given the topics of our council discussion tonight, you didn't mention the fact that there will be a walk and roll event on Canal Road in the East Millstone area of the township between really from East Millstone all the way down to Butler Road. It is on Sunday, May 21st from, I believe, 10 to 3. It's the 4th annual Canal Road Walk and Roll, and you can come out and walk along the beautiful scenic Canal Road without the interference of motor vehicles. I'd also like to report that Somerset County Board of Elections is looking for registered voters to serve as poll workers on election days. Training is provided prior to every election, and poll workers are paid $200 per election. For more information, you can visit the Board of Elections website, or you can visit our website where there's a link to the Somerset County poll worker information and an application and phone number. That's right on our main page of our website. That's where the link is. If you're interested in providing services as a poll worker, we're always in need of them, as are other municipalities in Somerset County. And then I guess since everyone is very, very excited about the closing on Consolata, and several council members have already mentioned it, there will be the official legal closing on the property to take place at 1 o'clock here in the municipal building. The actual legal process is not something that will be open to the public. There will be some lawyers and some others there to handle the legal documents necessary to change ownership over from the Consolata missions to the Township of Franklin. However, I believe there will be some people here with big, gigantic checks, or at least one big, gigantic check to hand over to Father Paolo from Consolata. Is that correct, Mr. Mayor? Yes, okay. And I'm hoping that there will be some of you in this room here to take pictures of that historic event when it takes place at 1 o'clock on Thursday.
Everyone loves the big check of that.
Everyone likes the big check, and there'll be a big check, and you still have to sign it, Mr. Mayor. Fran has it. And so that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Township Manager. We are now on to council discussion items. Summer Sunday closure of Canal Road between Griggstown and Route 518. Councilman Chase, why don't you start? And we're going to follow the rule that I mentioned when I was sworn in of no one speaks twice till everyone speaks once, so we get a fair, even input to this. So go ahead, Councilman Chase, kick it off.
I've really already spoken about this. Mr. Fay has spoken about this. He originally brought the idea to my attention, and I think it would be a good idea, and he has recruited, has found a lot of people who, I think, was it 43 you said? People who've signed the petition in favor of this. I have to admit, I haven't been out down around my end of Canal Road to ask them, partly because they would probably start talking about the canal dredging, but I think it would be a good idea, and I know from the amount of bicycle traffic I see on Old Georgetown and knowing the circuit they make, I can see a considerable use of this by bicycles. And if the bicycling club publicizes it, there will be even more. But we have to, the manager will probably talk to us. There is some cost involved in terms of police overtime, and we have to decide, first of all, do we want to do this, but also how many days should we say do one Sunday in each of 3 summer months? Should we do 3 Sundays in 1 summer month, or what pattern and what hours? Probably 10 to 3, but or it could be just the afternoon.
So anyone have comments or want to ask Councilman Chase questions?
Well, I do, Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead, Councilperson Sherman.
Being very neutral. I don't live in the area. I have no idea what kind of traffic flow there is. I'm sure it isn't heavy down at that end in particular, but it is, to me, a disruption. What about people who live in the area? And what about people who don't know about it? Are there going to be signs directing them to where they need to go as a result of the road being closed? How is that going to be handled? How are the residents going to handle it?
Well, I think that the residents will be allowed in going 25 miles an hour. I think that's what happens with the walk and roll on the northern part of Canal Road. Presumably, of course, at the southern end, at Route 518, it will be relatively easy to explain that it's closed and you should go across the river up 206 and up River Road on the Montgomery side. And for southbound traffic, I think we'd have a sign at the bridge over the river indicating that Canal Road southbound will be closed. It is used quite a bit, but certainly on weekdays there is quite a lot of traffic on it. I think some people commute that way, but Sundays they should not be commuting. We'll also have to notify people on Coppermine Road and Old Georgetown Road about this. But again, as residents, they'll be able to go, say, from the north end to Coppermine or from the south end to Old Georgetown and then up under the same conditions as residents of Canal Road.
Any other questions?
So tonight, this is just proposing that we decide whether yay or nay, and then we decide frequency later if we decide to do a yes, or are we doing both?
I guess that would depend on the motion that's made.
Okay.
So Mayor?
Sir? I can't do it anymore. Councilman Vasanella?
That's fine. You can call me Councilman.
I can't do person anymore. It just doesn't flow.
Yeah, and
I
you
use
see a little
it
awkward
mainly
for
when
you.
it's a plural talking about all of us, council
okay.
people.
There we go. Graffito.
So, I'm trying to understand the facts here. I know we do the one on the northern end of Canal Road that you had brought to us years ago, or people brought to you when you brought to the council. So that's a one-time-a-year event, correct, Mayor? Twice a year. But that's a stretch, right? A straight stretch of road?
It would be equivalent to what is being proposed here. It's about the same distance and length between Butler and East Millstone as it is from Griggstown Causeway to 518.
What time of day are we talking about? Is there any reference? My concern is that I wouldn't want to do anything that interferes with people's usual
commuting to or from any
It's a
houses
Sunday,
of worship.
Councilman. It's a Sunday.
I know, that's when people go to church. So, again, I would be concerned about it being interfere with any regular flow of people going to house of worship. I'd like to see it happen. I just, I don't know that area as well as the stretch that we do in the northern part. So, and then the other thing is I don't know if it would be more or less cost. We would pay for, as far as you would have to have police to let, or I imagine to let the local traffic in and out.
Mr. Mayor, if you'd like me to answer those
Yes, sir.
questions about the logistics, I will take care of it now.
Okay, I
So,
think you were-
as far as the interference with traffic, local traffic is permitted on the northern end when it's held in the East Millstone area, and it would likewise be allowed in the southern end. And that would include the intersecting streets, because unfortunately, there's no way to prohibit them from using the street to access their homes. So there's little to no inconvenience to the area residents. As far as people who are driving through the area, the police department comes out 2 hours before the event starts and posts detours both in the long-range areas. So in this area, such as there would be a sign at Bunker Hill Road and Route 27 that says Canal Road closed to local traffic only. Things like that. So there's advanced signs. That's why it takes them about 2 hours to get everything up. Likewise, it takes them about an hour or so to take it all down. There's detours posted, so anyone who's coming to the area who needs to get around it will be given detour signs around it. It cost us about $2,300 for each one of these events. To pay the police officers overtime is the only expense, but that's what the expense is. It's about 8 hours of overtime to run the event from 10 to 3 because of the setup and breakdown before and after. The officers stay during the course of the event to make sure that there are no problems and that no one takes down the barricades or moves the barricades. They also man in the East Millstone event. Blackwell's Mills Road is left open, so that's in the middle of the route, and so therefore there's a police officer there to ensure that people cross safely, even though there's a four-way stop there. So you're talking about minimal inconvenience to residents, if any, other than they have to drive a little bit slower than they normally do. And as far as people coming from the outside, there's posted detours around it. It's a straight stretch of road, and it should be relatively easy to get around this if it's closed, and the cost is about $2,300 per event. And there you have it.
Councilwoman Francois.
Excuse me. I think it's a beautiful concept, actually. I think, if the people in the area ask for that, it's an event they have a couple times a year. They get a chance to partake in the beauty of that environment. I think it's a wonderful thing.
Anyone else?
Police department said it's very easy for them to do. They don't mind doing it at all.
I mean, we want more people to take more pride in Franklin. We want more of these community-type events to occur throughout Franklin Township. So, I'm a big proponent for people coming forward, proposing things that they want to do in their neighborhood. I think it's wonderful.
Actually, no one speaks twice, so everyone speaks
Okay,
once. Councilman
so-
Broussard.
Can I just make a motion that we do these on 2 Sundays in the summertime?
Well, let's get everyone have a chance to have comments before you make the motion, if you would. I mean, you can make the motion if you'd like. I'm asking you to wait till everyone comments, but that's up to you. Anyone else before Councilwoman Robinson wishes to go again? I have a comment, but you can go ahead first.
What is the recommended or proposed timeframe? Is it June to August? What's considered this time, or do we do after Memorial Day to Labor Day, and recommendation?
So that kind of leads into me, my comments. Before we get to that, my first comment is the church. There is a church there.
Yeah, it's, the church is north of the stretch in question. This
Okay.
would interfere with people who
Okay.
Live on Canal Road going to the church would go more slowly, but the church is on the section which is a county road.
Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't have my exact geography down. And then my comment would be, as far as to what Councilwoman Robinson was saying, I would just say go slow the first year, maybe only 2 events, and of course, make sure they don't coincide with the Northern Road closure. That would really upset someone to finally get through that detour and then hit another detour. They might just go plowing down the road. But that would be my wish if it would be held to that. So Councilman Prasad, if you, unless there was someone else, if you had a motion?
Yeah, the motion would be to have 2 Sundays in July and August after church hours, so it would be about 1 o'clock or I don't know, whatever is a suitable time.
10 to 3 is what's
10
done in East
10 to 3?
Millstone, so it's really
Okay.
not.
That's fine.
To do it for
I
a
was
short
just
period
trying
of
to
time
be
is impractical.
Concerned about the church that the mayor brought up. So, yeah, so 10 to 3, July and August, Sunday to be determined. Just twice in the summer, that's it. That's the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
So it's moved and seconded, discussion. So I have one discussion on it. So I would like some signage for these events, a banner or 2 or 3, going across the road, easily read.
I understand, so I just consulted with Councilwoman Sherman, Mayor. The banners are about $400 or $500 a piece.
Okay.
And I understand, so you can make the motion with your elected officials and give me direction. Just want to give you the heads up. They're about $400 or $500, and you then pay to have them changed.
Were you
And-
anticipating my question?
No, you asked it, and I leaned over and asked
was
the woman
quick.
who knows more about banners than anyone up here on this
you go.
dais.
I'm the
So
banner
she's the
maven.
banner lady.
Banner lady.
All right, so I asked her, and she gave me an answer like that.
Banner lady or banner person?
Banner Maven, I like that.
Banner Maven. So I just say that, and listen, I will make sure that you get whatever it is that you want, but the banners, and the other thing is, there's the locations to hang those banners are limited. And you can ask the banner maven that, because we just had a meeting about that the other day.
Yep.
And I don't know what locations there are in that stretch of Canal Road between Griggstown Causeway and 518 that are suitable to hang a banner. You need 2 poles directly across the street from each other.
So, Councilman Prasad, would you modify your motion to include 1 banner for each event this year?
Sure.
And who seconded the motion? Anne Marie, who seconded the motion?
Several people. Kimberly, I think.
Kimberly,
I
I
heard Ms.
I-
Francois second the motion.
Yeah, it was
I
Councilwoman.
didn't
Francois.
second the motion for banners.
So you're not seconding the motion on
No.
banners?
No.
So we're going to spend $2,300 on each event and not advertise them, is essentially what I'm hearing. Does anyone-
That's gonna come up to be about $1,000 just for banners alone?
Yeah,
In
but
addition
they-
to the additional
but it's not-
costs?
But it's not a yearly expense. You buy the banner once, you modify the date each year. So that's a one-time cost to be able to advertise these events, because
And-
without advertising, people don't know about them.
I think there are other ways to advertise on paperless and bannerless on this.
We do a banner for the northern section, don't we?
Where would you hang this banner?
Well, the one for the northern section can be on Amwell Road. I know a place where they currently hang a banner that's virtually unreadable. I mean, it's wrinkled the way it's hung up. The wording on it is, consult the website with its long, complicated website name, so that you're not going to be able to get that when you're driving by. I mean, having an event, spending $2,300 twice a year for each event, so now we're talking about $10,000 a year, and we don't want to spend $1,000 once to advertise the event. People aren't going to know about it.
Well, there is another additional expense every year. You have to buy another banner, the lower banner for the date change. You have to change the date. Just to let you know, there is an expense each year.
Okay, and how much is that banner?
I can't really tell you. It just, we're doing it over this year, and I don't know the price yet.
But it's a
Not
far
anywhere
smaller,
near,
it's a
yeah.
far smaller banner.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it.
So
I
we
mean,
have a second now.
Yeah, you got me to have a second.
So Madam Master Clerk, can you read back the motion? Or, all right, I'll read back the motion. The motion is to have a road closure for biking, walking, horseback riding, et cetera, twice a year on the southern portion of the town between the Griggstown Causeway and 518, and money to buy a banner for that event and for the northern similar event. I think that is the motion and the second.
When can I make a comment? I just thought of something else. At what point?
Anytime, ma'am.
So if I may?
Yes, ma'am.
So I have no problem with this, but this is a precedent that we're setting. How come, the parade doesn't say, we want a banner across Hamilton Street? How are we going to say no to anybody who comes to us and asks for this in the future?
So is that addressed to me?
No, well, anybody.
Well, if this is a township-originated event, that's
Requested by
different
residents.
from one originated by a more or less private group.
The Memorial Day Parade is a township event as of a vote of this council last year.
Right, and we
it would
probably should have a
apply.
banner for that as well.
You're right.
But this is a township-sponsored event. Yes, I'm very happily, citizens brought it to our attention and have requested it, but it's still a township event. That we have the Sierra Leone Parade coming up. That's not a township event. They're getting permits, et cetera, to do that. The township certainly wouldn't buy a banner for that. If they want to buy a banner and ask for a permit to put it across, that's a different issue. But we're not talking about that. So maybe, another banner for Memorial Day Parade would come up. And so there'd be another $400 one-time expense.
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know what the definition is of a township-sponsored event. It's not that the township said, we're going to have this event, and the neighbors all said, yes, we're going to help, and we're going to organize it for you. This was a request by residents. It's not a bad idea. I'm not arguing it. But it wasn't initiated by the township. It's not like the Franklin Day Festival or the 4th of July. This is something that residents came and asked us to support, and we're helping. But, now you are setting a precedent. That's my point. When others come and ask that they would like to hold some other event, we will have no leg to stand on if they ask for banners.
So if they are holding an event and they are paying for the event, and then they will be responsible for the banner. The township is going to do all of the organizing of this. We'll be making sure the roads are closed at the right time, getting the police going for that. That's completely different from what's happening with the Sierra Leone event, for instance. It is a town, I presume Councilman Chase will be asking for this yearly, as we do with the
If
northern
it's a
event.
success.
To me, it's completely different than a private group coming up and wanting to do a private event.
Well,
Yes, a
again-
private group brought it to our attention, but I'm seeing this as a township event.
So let me
And
play devil's advocate here. So the Hamilton Street Marketing Committee, which is part of the Hamilton Street Advisory Committee, we have a township event called Trunk or Treat. We don't come to the township and ask for a banner, even though it's a township-sponsored event.
Maybe we should.
The money that, but however, Councilwoman, the difference is the money that is associated with the budget and the SID money is now township money because you as council act as the district management corporation, and when the advisory board makes recommendations, it is technically taxpayer money that's being spent on that. So there, in support of Trunk or Treat or any of the events that are Hamilton Street Advisory Board events, those are township events because you as the advisory board and you as the district management corporation are the township. So this is a unique situation now. If it ever reverts back to being a separate district management corporation, then they would do their own events and they would be treated like any other organization that does events in the town, like this event that's being held this month for the African parade and celebration at the park. Last year, and I'm just going to try to clarify this as best I can. Last year, I came to you as a council and said, we have these events that are quasi-township, but they're not really township events, and we really need to rein them in and make them township events. They were Memorial Day Parade, Veterans Day Ceremony, Memorial Day Ceremony, and 4th of July. And Walk and Roll has always been a township event. It was started by the township. It was a Trails Committee and mayor kind of idea that was always run under the Recreation Department. This event would be run not like any other one, just like that. It would be a Recreation Department event. The big difference is where the police come from. That's the biggest expense for these events, and that was one of the issues that was going to stymie us having Memorial Day parades and the sort, is because it costs money to put police officers to run parade routes.
And if you want a precedence, the precedence is Canal Fest. They pay for their own sign. That's
And they get permits, and they pay for a police officer to do pedestrian crossings.
Right, they pay for it all. So, Councilman?
You mentioned that, Mayor, just trying to understand, because you think this biking event should be like that, or should be sponsored by the town?
No, I'm saying the biking venture seems to me like a township-sponsored event. It was suggested by citizens, but it seems to me like a township-sponsored event. So the township should pay for it. Canal Fest is a citizens-sponsored event, and...
Okay, no, I just want clarity. Okay, I understand. So the only question I have for the manager, the question I have for the manager is, and I support the event, I want to be clear in saying that, but since Councilwoman Sherman brought up a point about, anybody can bring a similar event, and we'd be hard pressed to say no to have the event and then to fund it. The things that go on Hamilton Street, like the Trunk or Treat, whatever you want to call it, those funds aren't equally grabbed from all of Franklin Township.
You're
They're from the specific.
You're missing my point. The organization, the Hamilton Street Advisory Board, is the one who is sponsoring the event. The Hamilton Street Advisory Board is the Township of Franklin. That's us. And that money is earmarked in a budget every year to do those events. That money that's raised and is in the SID budget is part of that process of holding events on Hamilton Street. That's where that comes from. If the structure should change in the future, then my position would change. Currently, you took over the District Management Corporation, so therefore you as the governing body of the town who control all the spending of the town controls the spending of the Hamilton Street Advisory Board. It's your decision on how that money is spent, and that money has been decided to be spent on things like the Trunk or Treat event and other events along Hamilton Street to serve the Hamilton Street neighborhood. That's all I meant by that. That's what it is. And until that changes, that's how it will be.
Any further discussion, Councilman Prasad?
Yeah, we have two walk and roll events, township sponsored, that have been successful. And why should we not give that to the first ward, which is where this is going to be, and not just do it in the third ward when we know the third ward we've had success with it? So why not extend it? And it really makes a difference for the residents of the town. And, you know, if we can do things to enhance the, you know, the esprit de corps as such of the residents and camaraderie, we should do it. It's well worth it.
Mr. Mayor, is this a Trails supported event, which is the first one? I heard the township manager say that it was a recommendation by the Trails Committee, the first walk and roll.
It was, and they no longer are supporting it. I believe Rec Committee is supporting it.
They don't support it?
The Recreation Department is the one.
Okay, and that same support is being offered to this other group?
Well, that would be the point. It would be a township event. If we're going to close a township street and allow township residents, no matter where they come from, to come walk and ride their bicycles and enjoy the scenery of that township road, it's a township event. We utilize the police services to close it off, and that makes it a township event. It's not like we're sending an assessment bill to the residents along Canal Road saying you have to pay that $2,300 for police coverage.
That's not what we're talking about.
No, I'm saying it's a township event. So it would be sponsored by the Recreation Department, just like the other event.
Okay, so here's my last point. Do we not use the police for the parade? Do they not close streets? Do they not?
Which parade?
The African parade.
But it's sponsored by a private organization.
So,
Mr. Mayor, I call for the question.
So,
Sponsored by the township.
Councilman Wright has called for the question. I'm obligated to ask for a second for the question.
Second.
So we have a second. All in
Voting on.
favor of calling for the question, say, well, no, we have to voice vote it because it counts. Voice vote on calling the question, Madam Clerk.
Could we just say the question again? I'm not sure what we're voting on.
So the question is to, twice a year, dates to be determined on Sundays, to close Canal Road from Griggstown to 518 for the purpose of walking, biking, et cetera, from 10 in the morning until 3 or 4 in the afternoon, exact time to be determined, and provide one banner for the northern similar event and one banner for the southern event.
Thank you.
So voice vote on calling the question, not on the question itself.
Councilman Chase.
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois.
Yes.
Mayor Kramer.
Yes.
Councilman Nodi Jaka.
Yes.
Councilman Prasad.
Yes.
Councilwoman Robinson.
yes.
Councilwoman Sherman.
Yes.
Councilman Vasanella.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Wright.
So there's no further debate. Madam Clerk, this is now the question itself. Called roll call, please.
Councilman Chase.
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois.
What is the question?
To have the events and have the banners.
So I'm assuming we're not setting a precedent, so I'll say yes.
Mayor Kramer.
Yes.
Councilman Nodi Jaka.
Yes.
Councilman Prasad.
Yes.
Councilwoman Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sherman.
By the manager's definition, this is a township event, so I'm voting yes.
Councilman Vasanella.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Wright.
Thank you. It passes. I'm sorry. I have to explain my laugh. It's just that big debate, and it was unanimous. So that's great. Thank you. It was ironical.
We just need to know what we're voting on.
No, absolutely. No. I'm not criticizing
banners were
anyone.
brought up.
I was just a
Banners
little
were brought up as
surprised
a-
with that debate.
At the
Yes, sir.
last minute.
Mr. Mayor, just one point. There's something that our manager brought up. On May the 20th, we have the
Back to
African
council
Day
comments.
Parade, and we'll have food, a lot of fun, and it's coordination with Grace for Life.
Yeah.
So just on May the 20th, come on out, then you'll have a good time.
Deputy Mayor, do you know, is there a banner for that parade?
We need to go get one.
Unless you want to give us one.
Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Who pays for putting up the banner?
All right, I've once again lost control, trying to grasp it back. We are now on to approval of the minutes. There are none. Approval of the warrants. Item number 12, warrants in the amount of $8,285,075.69 on May 9th, 2017 are presented to the Township Council for payment. Do we have a motion to
I
pay
move that
our
the
bills?
warrants as read be paid.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Any discussions or questions on the warrants? Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Chase,
Warrants, Councilman Chase. He was, it's just the warrants. You were celebrating the passage
Yes.
of the broken rule.
Councilwoman Francois,
Yes.
Mayor Kramer,
Absolutely.
Councilman Oni Jaka,
Yes.
Councilman Prasad,
Yes.
Councilwoman Robinson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sherman, Councilman Vasanella.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Wright.
Yes.
We are now moving on to public hearing and adoption of ordinances on second reading. Ordinance 4199-17, and ordinance amending the code of the Township of Franklin, Somerset County, New Jersey, more particularly Chapter 112, Development, Article 23, Site Plan Review, Section 112-85C, subsection 4B, amending the composition of the Technical Review Committee. The public hearing has been noticed, the public hearing has been noticed as required and is in order. Do I have a motion?
Motion for public hearing.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. All in favor of public hearing?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this item only, please come forward. And while they are coming forward, I'll just say, this is an ordinance. The Technical Review Committee is for when there are simple site plans that do not need to go to the Planning Board or Zoning Board. This committee makes decisions on it.
Mr. Mayor, seeing no one come forward, I move that we close the public discussion.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. All in favor of closing
Aye.
public discussion?
Aye.
Say aye. Do we have a motion on the item?
So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Madam Master Clerk.
Councilman Chase,
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois,
Yes.
Mayor Kramer,
Yes.
Councilman Oni Jaka,
Yes.
Councilman Prasad,
Yes.
Councilwoman Robinson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sherman,
Yes.
Councilman Vasanella,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Wright.
Yes.
Ordinance 4201-17, an ordinance of the Township of Franklin, County of Somerset, and State of New Jersey, authorizing acceptance of a waterline easement in connection with Canal Walk Associations LLC, Block 513.47, lots 1.02, 24, and 25, Canal Walk the Third. The public hearing has been announced as required and is in order.
Motion for public hearing.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Seeing no discussion on public hearing, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Very nice. Opposed, say nay. Motion is carried. Public hearing, anyone wishing to speak on this item only, come forward.
Mayor, seeing no one coming forward from the public, a motion to close the public portion of the hearing on this ordinance.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Seeing no discussion on closing the public portion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion is carried. Do we have a motion on the item?
So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on the item? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Chase.
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois.
Yes.
Mayor Kramer,
Yes.
Councilman Oni Jaka,
Yes.
Councilman Prasad,
Yes.
Councilwoman Robinson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sherman,
Yes.
Councilman Vasanella.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Wright.
Yes.
There are no ordinances on introduction and first reading. We are now on to the consent agenda. Items A through R, as listed on the consent agenda portion of this meeting, are presented to the Township Council for adoption. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And a
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion, anyone wishing to pull an item, discuss an item, question an item on the consent agenda? Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Chase.
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois.
Yes.
Mayor Kramer.
Yes.
Councilman Oni Jaka.
Yes.
Councilman Prasad.
Yes.
Councilwoman Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sherman.
Yes.
Councilman Vasanella.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Wright.
Yes?
I will point out item number N, authorized special event permit, Second Chance for Animals, Dog Walk and Family Fun Day on May 21st at Colonial Park. I'll be busy on May 21st. I'll be walking and rolling and going to the dog park.
We should get him one.
That's going to be
So
a hardcore
moved.
joke.
The mayor's going to pay for it.
I might. I might. Item 16, resolutions to be voted on separately. Item 17, old business, boards, committees, commissions, vacancies. Anyone have any nominations for those things? Hearing none, I'll read them very quickly for people who might be interested. Agricultural Advisory Committee, Cable TV Committee, Hamilton Street Advisory Committee, Historic Preservation Advisory Committee, Raritan and Millstone River Flood Control, Rent Leveling Board, Senior Citizen Advisory Committee, Sewage Authority, I guess we got to work on that, Trails Advisory Committee, that's it. So, that's about it. Do we,
Motion to adjourn.
wait one moment. Wait, when is the next meeting?
30th.
30th.
We changed it, yeah.
You changed by resolution tonight, the meeting, next meeting, instead of being the 23rd, it's going to be the 30th, and I just wanted to announce to Mrs. Kramer, who's watching this meeting.
Oh, I've completely lost control.
No, we need a
This
banner
is why
for
we
that.
pay our
We need a banner for that.
I'm sorry, I can't be here. I have a council meeting that night. It's on my calendar. Yes, so the next meeting will be on May 30th at 7 PM and is in the publications and in the, a file drawer hidden in the clerk's office. Do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, seeing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Be well, Franklin.